Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Lone Star Chick Plans and we are back with another video, and today we're talking about our April paycheck number 1 budget and just a preview of the month of April as well. So let's get into the video. And first we'll start off with rollover. So rollover for the month of March was $127.38. So that is what we are bringing into the month of April. So for April this month, I do have a trip coming up at the end of April. That trip has kind of all been paid for except for our rental car and our food. So I may need to save some of this rollover for that, for when that comes at the end of the month. So our trip isn't until the end of the month, but everything else has already been paid for. The other thing that I have going on this month in April is we need to purchase our airfare for our trip to go see my daughter. So if you're new to the channel, we are a family of 4, but currently we're a family of 3 because my daughter, I have, it's me, my husband, my son, and my daughter. My daughter is in the military, and so she is currently stationed in, out of the state. So she, we're going to go visit her in the month of May, but I need to purchase my airfare now. So I do need to take that out of my budget at some point. So that may mean, like I said in my debt video, that may mean that I need to cut back my debt payments a little bit in the next 2 months to be able to pay for that airfare. So that is what's going to happen there. I don't think we'll need like a whole lot of money to go visit with her other than airfare because we'll be staying with her. So we'll just need money for like maybe food and gas or whatever to get around. So hopefully that will be that. But so I have that coming up. I also have a wedding coming up, so I also need to kind of factor that in because I do need to, you know, get a gift and also get my bridesmaid stuff that I'll need to be in the wedding as well. So I have a lot of things coming up that are also going to affect my budget a little bit. So I already started buying some stuff. So you guys will see below. We've got the bridal shower coming up. We also have the wedding coming up. I've got 2 trips coming up. So I have a lot of things coming up that are not normal, but we haven't traveled the last 2 years a whole lot. We've just been paying stuff off. My husband's been busy paying some stuff off. So like we've just been focused on, you know, making those things a priority. But now this year we're kind of like in a better place where we have a little bit more income flow to be able to do some traveling. We want to get back to that because we really do enjoy doing that. But the goal is still also to pay off debt. So we're using basically my income to pay for debt. And we are using his income to fund our travel for the most part, and also save up for our emergency fund, pay our property taxes, and pay our car insurance with his income, which you guys don't really see here because that's just transfers from his account to our savings account, and we only pay those bills. Our property taxes we pay in full once a year. Our house insurance we also only pay once a year, and then our car insurance we pay like every 6 months. So like we're just saving, and that's kind of boring, and that's another account to bring into the budget that would just make it confusing. So I'm not including that stuff, but know that we do also, just like everybody else, have those kind of expenses as well. We just choose to pay them annually versus every month, and the rest of that is either saved or invested for our retirement. So that is why you mostly just see what is my income alone, because that is pretty much kind of like how we live off of. So that is that. As far as April's budget goes, I'm trying to make it as bare bones as possible, and I do have a little bit of spending that has already been done that's going into this month's budget, but let's get into that. So first, for income, we got paid. That was $282.64. My son contributed $266. My daughter is going to contribute $35. I did deposit because our quarterly trash bill is due this month. I do need to pay that on the 1st of April. So I deposited $138 that we save every month in our sinking funds, and that came from that. So I deposited the cash, and I'm going to pay the bill. That's $137.75. I deposited $138 in the bank. I also pulled the rest of my month ahead sinking fund that didn't go towards my docking station. If you watched my last video, I am going to stop contributing to month ahead instead of contributing to month ahead, I'm just going to put that money in my budget, whether that is to spend or to pay off debt. So instead of saving up for a month ahead, I'm going to go ahead and wait until maybe like next year once I'm done paying these 2 cards. If you watched my debt video, I'm working on 2 balance transfer credit cards. I really need every penny that I can get to go towards those 2 credit cards to pay those off by March of next year. So that is really what I'm focused on doing. And so I'm still going to do my sinking funds, but I'm just not going to do month ahead right now. I'm not going to focus on that. I realized that my money is needed elsewhere, and so I'm going to focus on that instead. But because I already had some of that money saved, I went ahead and used that for my docking station, but this is the leftover. Very long explanation to explain that this is my leftover amount, and that is what I'm going to do it. I'm going to use it to put it back into my budget this month. So that would just add to my rollover or whatever. So for this paycheck, we plan on saving into our house savings account $125 as usual. We always save $125. For bills this time, I do want to talk about a couple of the bills. My electric bill is going to be $145.03, but come next month, my next billing cycle, which should be due by the end of like next month, like the beginning of the next month, beginning of May. My electric bill, I did get on like a balanced billing plan, and I know I did that because we have some summer months coming up. I'm really focused on paying off this debt, and I really need my bills to be static, which means I really need my bills to be fixed, because I can plan a lot better and really plan on paying debt instead of waiting for the other shoe to drop and that bill to come in a lot higher than what I was thinking or budgeting. I really would much have a budgeted fixed amount. So I did call my electric provider and I did talk to them, and they did say that they do offer the balanced billing. So this month is actually a really low bill than what I normally pay. And so that was $145.03. That's going to be due this month. But come next month, my bill should be $213. And so she said what they do is they will, since they have my usage history, since I've been with them for a couple of years, they have all my usage history, so they can get a pretty good accurate number of the estimate of what I need to pay. And so it's going to be $213. So I have 2 electric bills that I pay every month, but I always just lump them into one. But I have a small electric bill, and then I have a really big electric bill, which is for the house. So the small electric bill is for my husband's shop and for our septic system. When they built the house, somebody lived on the property already, and so they used that power pole. And then when they built the house, they added a second power pole, so that left the house having 2 meters with electricity. So when my husband had the shop build, they tied it into the septic one, which used to be the original power pole, the first one. So we ended up with 2 light bills every single month. So for both, it's going to be $213 every month for the first 6 months. And then after 6 months, they will true up the bill. So if I've used more than what I've paid in, I'll have to pay the difference on that 7th month bill. If I've used less, then I'll get a credit on my 7th month bill. So maybe if I've used a lot less throughout these next 6 months, then I will get a credit, or I will have to pay the difference. So either way, it gets trued up, but you have that static bill for those 6 months. And then after that, she said they'll evaluate for a year. So it'll be fixed for a year after that if I stay on the plan. And I can get off anytime. It's not a contract or anything, but my contract does expire in January. So I have until then to see how it goes and see if I like it or not or what. So I'm going to try it and see, and hopefully that will help the budget to get us through till next March. So that's going to be the update with the electric bill starting in May, but I know that now. So like for next month, for May, I'll know how to budget. But for this month, I'm so thankful that the bill was a lot lower. So we'll be paying $145.03, and that should be coming out automatic draft in the next couple of days. And I do use my Capital One Saver Rewards card to pay that bill. Our Netflix should be $16.54. Our Peacock should be $6.39. We ended our promotion last month, so last month it went up. This month it's the same. I do watch it, so I am keeping it. Once whatever I'm watching is over, I will consider dropping that. Our cell phone bill is finally back to a normal price after the last 2 months of craziness. Our cell phone bill is back to kind of like what it should be, which is $297.19. So that's way more in line. I am going to look into Mint Mobile and see if I can switch over. I'm just worried about, since we live in a rural area, I'm worried about the signal and the service not being what I need and not working. So I'm kind of hesitant. So maybe I'll switch my line and be the guinea pig to try it and see if it works out good. I really do like their pricing. But our bill is a little bit higher with AT&T because we are paying for 3 phones right now. I do have a couple more months, about 6 more months, I think, until August. So maybe a little bit less, but I do have a couple more months of phone payments for 2 of the 3 phones for my husband and my mom. So we do have 5 lines on our plan. It's the 4 of us. So my husband, myself, my son, and my daughter. And then I also pay for my mom's cell phone. She's also on my plan. So that's, you know, extra as well. And my husband and my mom have, we're still paying on their cell phones. And so that's what I'm trying to pay off. And then my son pays for his. So that is what we are working on right now. And so once I can pay those phones off, the bill will go down a little bit, but not significantly enough. And with Mint Mobile, it's like $15 or $20 for each month. So I'm kind of thinking about changing to get this bill even lower and, you know, see if I can save some money there somehow, some way. I'm just worried about the service not being what we'll need for it to work in our rural area where we live. So we'll see. Spotify is $18.14 and we all use it. So we're keeping that. Our car wash, my car wash subscription is $30. I need to go over there and bump it down because it can be $20 and then I could save $10. That's what I thought I signed up for initially. If you watched, you know, been watching and following my budget videos, I thought that's what I signed up for, but apparently I got signed up for the $30 plan, which is the Uchi Gucci plan, top tier, whatever. So I can really bump that down and save a little bit there. So the next one is our internet bill. So our internet bill, actually, I did talk to them actually today. And what's going to happen is we have been with them for like a year now and they do like promotional things. So I did call and they were able to lower my bill to like $19 a month, you guys. Just by calling and saying that I was, you know, just not happy with the price, not the service, but the price. And they're going to knock it down to $19 a month for the next year. But since it was so close to my billing cycle, it's not going to take effect until next month. But next month, I'll have the $19 price and they will have credited me for this month. So I probably won't even have an internet bill due next month. I'll probably still have a credit until May. So, or until June. So I probably wouldn't have to pay until June. And even in June, I probably would still have enough credit that I would only have to pay a couple bucks. So I'm kind of like prepaying for the next 2 months, if you will. So I'm not happy that I have to pay that now because I really wanted to have that extra money in my budget this month. But I'm happy that the next 2 months, I probably maybe won't even have a bill. So I'm glad for the lower price for $19.99. Guys, it pays to call and check. Call your companies. Call them. Ask them for a reduction in price. Ask them for any specials. It really does help. I've been doing this with all of my bills. If there's anything I can do to get them lower, I'm trying to do that to help my budget because I really need this money in my budget to pay off debt faster. So I'm really watching the pennies and it really does help to call. I had no idea that they would be able to lower it that much. I was shocked and I was like, are you sure? And they were like, yes. So call, get the payment dates changed on your bills if you can. Like tell them, you know, this date is not working, this due date isn't working, if you can change it. I kind of have gotten to where all my bills are on one paycheck. So while I'm bill heavy on that paycheck, I have the rest of the month paycheck to pay debt and focus on that. So while it's a little tight on this first paycheck of the month, my second paycheck of the month is definitely like there's not really a whole lot going on that paycheck. So it's awesome to be able to have that income on that paycheck to really pay off some debt. So that's what we're working with on that. So our quarterly trash bill is due this month and it's $137.75 and that takes us through the next quarter. So we got to pay that. That goes from April, May to June. And then in like end of June, beginning of July is the next payment. So we just save those 3 months and I'm saving that by doing sinking funds. I have a sinking fund for it. So I'm saving the cash and then I'll just go deposit in the bank and then pay the bill and pay my card back. So I pay the bill on my card to get the rewards and then I pay the card back with my cash. So it works. And then I'm able to put it on, you know, auto pay or whatever you want to pay it. I'm not worried about not having the money in my account to pay the bill. I just deposit it whenever. So the new bill this month is going to be DirecTV. So we're doing DirecTV Stream because, you know, if you know me, we love baseball. We have to watch baseball. We've been waiting for baseball to start. It's starting today, the 28th. So we are definitely signed up for baseball again. And I was able to get DirecTV Stream. It's going to be, I mean, they were all about the same. I contacted like Fubo TV, DirecTV Stream, Xfinity. They're all about the same. We just have always been with DirecTV before in the past and we never had a problem with the service, but we're going to try the streaming version of DirecTV this time. So we're going to do that and hopefully my husband will be able to contribute from his paycheck a little bit towards that. If not, we're just going to pay it out of my check and save his cash, you know, in savings or whatever. So either way, it's all the same money, right? But DirecTV is going to be a new bill for the next few months during baseball season until like November. So we'll be having that bill. There's no way to get it any cheaper or through anybody else. DirecTV was cheaper. And this is still an estimated amount. We're still on a free trial. So we still have a couple of days to where we're actually going to get charged. So I'm not really sure exactly how much the amount is going to be, but it was like $81 and something. So because we're on a promotion. So I'm thinking it should be maybe $90 with taxes or whatever, but we'll see. I will probably come back and adjust this number so that I have that exact number going forward. I do like to budget exactly for bills so that if it does come over what I'm thinking or expecting, I do know. If I just always budget and then have an actual, like every month I'm just budgeting whatever I think, like I like to budget actual, the actual dollars that are going to come out. I don't like to estimate, like round up, let's say, like some people round up every time. And I'm like, how do you know if your bill is coming more if you don't actually track the actual? So I do like to budget with the exact number if I know it. Like my electric bill, I do know plenty ahead of time what my bill is going to be, so I'm able to budget that exactly. And my DirecTV bill right now, since it's just a new bill, I don't know, so we'll have to see. As far as debt payments goes, this paycheck, we are planning on, so that was another thing, my loan number 1 changed to my balance transfer card. If you watch my debt video, I did balance transfer my loan number 1 that was due, and so I transferred that to my credit card with my credit union. They did increase my limit and give me enough to cover that loan amount, so I was able to transfer it in full. And then so the loan amount with the transfer fee is going to make my monthly payment, instead of $280.19, it's going to make it $190. So I'm saving a little bit of money there. But I also asked for a payment due date change. It is due on the 17th, but I wanted to get it to where it's due so that I'm paying it as like I was paying it before. So they did tell me that that would take effect, but I haven't seen it updated yet. So I'm going to kind of save this money to the side for now. I'm going to save the $190. I'm just going to save it in my savings. I'm not going to pay it yet, because if they turn around and tell me that I don't have a payment due for this month, that I can push it to next month, then I'm going to put this $190 towards my Discover instead of the loan number 1. So since I don't know that yet, it's only been a week since we did the due date change, and I haven't seen it reflected yet on my account. So I'm going to hold it for now in case I do have to pay it by the 17th of April. I'm going to hold on to it. If not, I'll roll it over into next paycheck cycle, and I will make the debt payment then when it's due on the 17th. So I'm going to hold off for it for now because I have a feeling it's going to change. It just hasn't updated yet. It hasn't been that many days. So I'm going to wait and see on that. So I am going to take it out of my budget this paycheck, and then I'm just going to put it to the side of my savings for now until we figure out that. So for right now, I have budgeted $400 to make towards Discover. My goal, like I said in my debt video this month, is to pay at least $1,000. But I know I have a lot of stuff going on, so I'm going to budget $1,000, and then I'm going to see how the month shakes out. And if I have anything left come next paycheck, I will make whatever rest of the debt payment there to make that $1,000 at least next paycheck. So I have budgeted $400 for now to pay towards Discover. My paycheck number 6, which is my medical bill, that's due actually tomorrow for $53.94. And then my TJ Maxx credit card, I was going to pay this in full, but I think I'm just going to pay $50 for now because I do have some returns. I bought some stuff. I need to return some stuff. So I'm going to just pay $50 for now because I know that I'm going to be spending at least that much. And then I'm going to see what the difference settles out to be and then pay that in full, hopefully on my next check. So that's how that's going to work. As far as variables, we are budgeted for $400 for groceries, but like I just did that Big Sam's haul on my last paycheck. I'm hoping not to need to use this $400 for groceries, and then that will be a little bit more for debt as well. So I budgeted $400 just like usual, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use that all or not. So we'll see how that shakes out. Eating out, I've budgeted $100. I gave us a little bit more just because we did eat out already this weekend for a birthday in the family. So we did spend a little bit more than usual than what we would normally spend out. We did go to a nice restaurant. So I did up my budget a little bit more just because I know I've already spent, and I'll just need a little bit to get through for the next 2.5 weeks. So that leaves me with $28.68 in the budget for that. So that's why I did up that. Normally it's less than that. Gas, we budgeted $75. I think we should be good with that. Pets, $51. That's just for their food, and they do need some more, so I'll probably order another bag and then go pick it up. Beauty is $65. That's just for my lash refill. I am doing good, so I'm hoping when I go that I will also not have to pay as much this time as well, because I have had good retention on my lashes. So I'm hoping she doesn't charge me in full, so we'll see how that shakes out. Maybe it'll end up being a little bit less. For spending, I did up this a little bit because like I told you guys, I do have some stuff going on. I have started buying some stuff for the wedding and for our trips. So I did budget $200. I did increase that. Normally I do like $100 or less per paycheck, but I need a little bit more this month. So I kind of just threw that number in there. And I also needed something for my kitchen, so that so far, I've spent $155. I have $44 left, so we'll see if we need that extra $44 or not. I did have to also buy a trap for some stray cats that are living in my yard and terrorizing my dogs. So they're all feral cats. They just keep breeding and multiplying, and so I need to trap them to relocate them and, you know, turn them into the Humane Society. So we already have one trap, but there are so many. There's like 20 of them, and they're just, you know, destroying my front yard. They are, you know, getting on our cars and leaving, you know, little footprints and scratching the paint, and they're just kind of a nuisance. They've just kind of gravitated to my yard, even though they're not my cats. I don't know whose cats they are. Our neighbor across the street started with a couple of cats, and they've just multiplied and multiplied and multiplied and multiplied, and we've relocated so many cats already, at least probably 20 cats, and there's probably at least 20 more. So it just causes a bad smell. They're terrorizing my dogs, so my dogs keep trying to get out of the fenced in area and the fenced in yard, and we've just been having trouble with that, trying to keep him in the yard, and they keep getting out of the yard, and they just want to get to these cats. They don't like cats, so we need to relocate the cats to save their lives. They can go be feral somewhere else, not in my yard and not in my house. So we need to take care of that. So I did have to buy a trap, a second trap. We already have one, so we'll just get a second trap. And so I just took that from my savings, from our house savings account. That's what that's for. And so we're just going to take it from there and pay ourselves back. So far for spending, I've spent $45.47 on a birthday gift, and on some makeup and toiletries that I needed. I spent $50 at Versona, and that was for an outfit for the bridal shower for me and my mom. I do have a return to make, and I do owe a little bit more towards this purchase, but I'm going to wait and see how it shakes out on the return, if I'm able to return what I bought. I ended up finding something else that I liked more, so I'm going to go ahead and make that return. So I'm just going to put $50 towards it for now, but I probably will need to pay a little bit more towards this, maybe on my next paycheck. So we did go to Maggiano's for the birthday lunch, like I said before. That was $55 with tip and everything, so that was the meal. I did spend $50 at Macy's that I also need to pay back. I did order lunch on Lunch Drop, $16.32. There just wasn't any leftovers from dinner for me to eat for lunch, so I did order some lunch through Lunch Drop. So I did buy myself some lunch at work. Amazon, I did order a little snack carousel, like a 2-tier carousel. I have a 1-tier carousel right now, and we just don't have enough for our little snack station, and I have a really small kitchen, so I just don't have a lot of room for a lot of stuff on my counters. I really don't have any counter space as it is, so I need to save room where possible, but also I need more organization for that spot in my kitchen, and I needed more room. So I went ahead and bought this little 2-tier carousel for $24.54, and I did cash in some reward money on my Capital One card. $14.33 was available, so I went ahead and cashed it in, and that will help, you know, hopefully that will help with all the spending purchases so far. So $39.49 was the Amazon cat trap, and that is all we've spent in the last couple of days towards our April budget. So that's how we're looking. As far as the month is going to go, what the plan is, and we'll just go to the monthly budget here for a second. The plan is to have, let me back up here. The plan is to have at least $1,600 in debt payments, and that is to pay for our loan number 1, which we may or may not have to pay this month. I did want to pay my Discover at least $1,000. So between paycheck number 1 and paycheck number 2, I kind of have that budgeted out, and I'm focused on paying that. So if I can make at least $1,000 payment, I would be happy with that for the month of April. So I do have that kind of planned out for both of my paychecks. I do kind of have all of the bills listed here. So I've kind of planned the month, but I'm really focused on just one paycheck at a time. Like I said before, just one little piece at a time. It's just less overwhelming, and I can focus better on just doing one paycheck at a time. For savings, I've kind of already cash planned what we're going to save, and that is, I I've reduced that a little bit to $486. I did also decrease our Christmas budget just a little bit for saving, because I do have all these things coming up and I do want to meet my debt goals, but also stay within budget in all of my other categories. So in order to make all of that work, I need to save a little bit less and then just kind of watch my spending. So I plan on paying $1,000 and then our minimum payments on everything else. So that is kind of how that's planned out. But if I have money left over in grocery, like I plan to, and if I have any extra money, like as far as rollover goes or whatever like that, right now this is showing I should have $106 of rollover. I'll go ahead and put that towards my debt payment, or I may save that and put that towards my airfare that I need to pay for. Also, that's going to have to come out my budget at some point. So I'm going to take half of the airfare cost from my husband's paycheck, and then I'm going to take half of the cost from my income from my paycheck, which is this budget. So we're not going to take it out of our savings. We're going to take that out of our paychecks. So we're going to try to cash flow it. So we'll see how it goes. But with the goals that we have, I, may need to take that from this remaining amount here at the end of the month, if that's still available. So that's kind of how the month is going to go. We have all of, everything that we need to pay. We have that accounted for. The only thing that's unknown right now at this time is going to be our DirecTV, how that settles out, and our water bill, which the water bill we should know the bill amount tomorrow or maybe the day after. But sometime by this weekend, we should know how much that is going to be. So by paycheck number 2, we should know how much we're going to pay for our water bill. So I usually know ahead of time, so I know how much I can budget. But it's usually no more than $60 in any month. So $60 should be plenty. It should be more than enough. So I should get a couple bucks back there in my budget for that. So that's how that's going to go. And the rest are just, we're making minimums on everything except for Discover. And then our budgeted categories here, our spending categories, we're trying to limit that, but we'll see how that goes. So that's how we're looking for the budget for the month of April, for the overview, and also for paycheck number 1. And we are not going to save any sinking funds on this paycheck since we're so bill heavy. We really don't have much to save. So I'm going to skip saving on this paycheck number 1, and we'll focus on saving sinking funds on paycheck number 2. But this is how we're looking for the month of April for paycheck number 1. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Leave me a comment, say hi. If you've watched the video to the end, leave me a money bag in the comments. Leave me a money bag. Let me know you watched this video to the end. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Hit that notification bell so you guys know when a new video is going to drop, so you guys don't miss any updates. And stay tuned for our next video, which should be our check-in. We'll also have my mom's budget video coming up for her month of April. We do need to talk about a couple of things and just kind of firm up the budget for April, which we'll be doing that soon. So hopefully by the weekend sometime, that video will drop as well. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching as usual, and you guys have a nice day. Thanks. Bye.